We're so used to moving 1,000 miles a minute in this world, bombarded by notifications, calls, text messages, what have you. We're used to results coming fast, right? We're used to Amazon delivery same day. We're used to results immediately. But one of the things that we find the most difficult, Austin and I included, is patience. Patience, patience, patience. Austin, what is the pursuit of patience to you?
That's funny because honestly, the pursuit of patience has been something that most people put off from the beginning of their childhood till the end of their adulthood. And think about it, when you're a kid, you want everything now. You want food now. You want toys now. You want fun and playtime now. You want all that shit right now. And that's one of the things as a adolescent that most people don't grow out of. In this kind of fast-paced society and the way things progress so quickly and innovation happens so quickly. And, you know, we had a flip phone not too long ago. Now we have fucking iPhones, and then eventually we're going to have fucking shit to where we're going to be wearing glasses and you can fucking, you know, just do shit. Well, we have that right now, but but it's just not as small. But eventually, it's gonna get smaller, and just like with the microchip, how you started off with huge fucking mainframes, and now you got shit the size of this.
And soon you'll be able to embed that shit into your fucking brain.
Elon Musk is already working on that.
Exactly.
So all of that is based off of we want things quicker, we want things faster, we want things better, and we want it now. And our whole society thrives off of that. So when your whole society thrives off of that, it's almost like you're going against your nature to say, let me wait, let me see, let me make a calculated decision, let me think about how I want to handle this, and let me approach this not as a child would, but as an adult would, as a man would, as a woman would, a true woman would. So the pursuit of not happiness.
It is the pursuit of happiness is the pursuit of patience.
Really?
Yeah, I would argue that a patient person is a happy person.
Why is that?
Because an impatient person is always unhappy. Think about it. If you've ever been waiting on anything, you do slightly get irritated and irked.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you say that you're a patient person, then I would argue that to a degree you're stoic. Any situation you know that's worth waiting, you'll wait there without creating a fuss. Now, if you're the type of person who's like, I need it now and I want it now, think about those kids at the shopping mall who are just making a huge fuss because they want this toy and they want it now, but their parents can't afford it, or the parents are trying to teach them a lesson that they can't always get what they want. That is a lack of patience, and that is associated with frustration and anger. And not only that, if you're impatient, you're too rigid in your expectations, you're unadaptable. So I'll give you an example in our life. If we're expecting a certain supplier to give us a product or an intermediate product within a certain time frame, and we're pressing them and pressing them and pressing them and pressing them and pressing them, that's going to be very, very annoying to them. And not only are they going to get upset, but we're going to get upset because they're upset. And when they're upset, they're not performing well. So it's a whole everybody's fucking upset, which is never good in any situation. And you can take that into relationships. Many men and many women are impatient. Men want some ass and women want a ring. But neither of them, in many cases, are willing to give the other. But they want to receive without giving.
You're onto something.
But that's a discussion for another day. Back to you, buffed up.
I mean, shit. Eventually, I do want to have that conversation because that's actually a very good take on things. And now that you said that, as far as, you know. Yeah, but now that I think about it, you want to work like you need it now, but have patience like you don't care when it comes. Because if you care too much about when this particular thing gets here, I'm sorry, but shit is never going to go as planned. We've been waiting on this particular thing to get here for some time. But we still need it. So we have to be patient, because if we rub someone the wrong way or we burn bridges, that's not going to help anything. But if you work like you need the shit now, you're eventually going to get the shit that you want. It's a matter of time. If you're learning and you're working your ass off, you're eventually going to get the shit. Again, it's just a matter of time. But you have to have patience with it, because ideally, you never know when that shit is going to come. You never know when you're going to get the big win. You never know it. But if you have patience and you know that your hard work and your networking and your, finding the right time, the right place, the right thing to fucking build your business around, if you have all of that, again, it's a matter of time. You just have to be patient. And I know it's definitely easier said than done, but I would argue building your patience and having that in your tool belt as one of your biggest attributes in characteristics about yourself is being a patient person. I would say that you will definitely outlast a lot of people in the shit called business and in the shit called life. Because we have a lot of people around us that want things now and they want it right away, even if it's not necessarily good for them. But because it's fast, they want it. Because it's quick, they want it. Because it's easy, they want it. So if you're willing to have that patience and to work and keep your head down and wait out the tough times and the bullshit, you get the things that most people will never get because you have patience. So if you're thinking about, if I had a genie and I could ask for anything, now of course you would ask for a lot of shit if it could come right away. But say if you could only get certain characteristics about yourself, right? I would say one of the main things that you should ask for as far as to enhance a characteristic about yourself or an attribute about yourself or a personality trait about yourself is the characteristic or attribute of patience. Because with that, you can weather the storm. And you're going to take a lot of beatings. You're going to take a lot of hardships along this path. But if you have the patience and you have the durability to stick it out, you will make it. Most people will quit. But having that patience and knowing that it takes time, good things take time, great things take even more time, and you having that thought in the back of your head saying, hey, I know that this takes time and I'm going to be patient and I'm going to tend the fire continuously, you're going to get it and it's going to be worth it. So if you're going to build one thing about yourself, build patience and a myriad of other things. But patience is probably the key, really, to every good thing that you could build up about yourself. You want a better body? Takes time. You want more money? Takes time. You want a better circle or friend group around you? It takes time. You want to build your looks and hygiene? Takes time. It takes the building blocks to be stacked up in order to get there. And you need patience for all those things. So at the core of everything that you want to build up about yourself, I would say patience is at the very center. And that is what you should be working on before you try to work on the leaves, work on the stems, work on the limbs, work on the roots.
I just got a response. A good one.
Oh, Lord.
And we hit 487.
Shout out, y'all.
Shout out to y'all. We fucking love y'all.
Love y'all, man.
We fucking love y'all.
Man.
It was a good response from a good person, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Rescheduling. Oh, life was good. Patience gives you perspective. Patience gives you distance. And most importantly, patience is what forges a good character. I slept more than 6 hours, by the way. We've talked about this in the past. When you're very accelerated, it's very, very difficult to pay attention to the details. You become singularly focused on a one track. Wherever you're headed, that's the only thing you can see. Whether it's $1 million, whether it's building this business, whatever it could be. And we've all been victims of this because we've cast people away and we've, for example, neglected our responsibilities, like our families, like our friends, like our women, like our men, whatever it might be, like our health, all sacrificing that for one thing because we are impatient. Now, Impatience is not to be confused with an expeditious spirit. You want to be expedient in what you do. That doesn't mean that you're impatient. Impatience is taking that to the extreme, which again has a time and a place, but it's not always how it should be. Now, when I say patience gives you distance, I'll give you the example of how Marcus Aurelius begins one of the chapters in Meditations when he is, forgive me, I forget who Rome was at war with at the time, but he's describing the way that the wheat bends under the weight of its own grain, how the wind blows it, a butterfly, and then the scene pans up and it's just a bloody warfare. And so patience, I would say, gives you perspective. Rather than jumping into the battle or jumping into the numbers or jumping into whatever it is commanding at that point in time when he's not necessarily needed at that second, he patiently waited and evaluated the surroundings and said, hey, life is beautiful. I know this is a bloody bath right here and it's not fun. I would rather be at home. I would rather not be warring with my brothers and sisters from another country. But life is still beautiful. I must do what I must. But I can see life, even here where there is people going on into heaven. Patience forges you. If you're not patient in the gym, you're not going to grow. Unless you take PEDs, which is what a lot of people do because they're impatient. If you want to increase your mile or decrease your mile time, it's going to require time. If you want to increase your VO2 max, it's going to require time. If you want to stretch, it requires time. People think you could just quickly, oh, I'm going to become flexible, or oh, I'm going to become fast, oh, I'm going to become strong, oh, I'm going to become big. It takes decades to reach small goals. It really, really does. And you'll do yourself a favor by being patient because you'll fall in love with the process. And in reality, make the action the goal, not the outcome. If you cannot prioritize the actual input, if you can't enjoy the process, the pain, the suffering, the long game, you're going to be in for a fucking treat because it is not fun when you want things right away and you can't get them.
And since you said that, my brother, so I would say patience gives you time to assess things. And when you have time to assess things, more often than not, you come to a better decision and a better choice than if you rushed into things. And more often than not, quick responses are often based in emotion as opposed to being based in reason. We've encountered multiple instances where we wanted to respond quickly because something did not go how we planned it. And when that happens, more often than not, you want to act quickly and not well kind of thought out. And when you do that, you have the opportunity to ruin a lot of things. And I would say to you, take some time, doesn't matter how long it is, before you make a decision and say, where is this decision? Where is this choice that I'm about to make coming from? Is it coming from a place of reason and thought, or is it coming from a place of anger, sadness, depression, what have you? If you're making decisions based off of those emotions, those strong emotions, those emotions that are more often not fleeting, I would say take some time, take some patience, and think about that. Because if you're making decisions based off of fleeting emotions that could have long-lasting effects, I would say that's not wise. And think of it like this. Quick fixes tend to produce quick cures, not long-lasting cures. So if I said that I have a quick way to fix your problems, like all these dumbass fucking workout classes online and all that shit say, oh, you can get abs in 2 days, I can do it. And all y'all believe it because y'all want a quick fix. even if you feel like you're doing something in those fucking 2 days, at the end of those 2 days, who knows? Magically, say you get abs, right? Magically, you get them. Give it about a week or two. You're not going to have those anymore. Why? Because you didn't have the patience to build the routine and to build the character, to build the patience, to build the tenacity that you need to build those abs, and not only build them, but maintain them. So if you see a quick fix, a quick cure, a quick solution to where it feels good in the moment because you might have all the energy and emotion riled up in you to make a decision, you have that going. Again, take some time to think, is this a quick fix? Is this a quick solution? Is this a quick reaction? Should I do this? Should I make that decision based off of this quick response that I have, this quick burst of anger or sadness that I have? Or should I wait? And should I think about things? And instead of going with a quick cure, should I go with the long lasting one? Because it's no good if you got a quick cure and 2 weeks later you're sick again. However, if you took this medicine every day for a month, for a year, and then at the end of that, you never have to take it again, and then you're completely cured, which one is better for you? One might take longer, but one has longer lasting effects. And when you don't think about things, when you don't have patience, when you act rashly, oddly enough, that quick decision has long-lasting effects as well. But instead of them being long-lasting positive effects, it's long-lasting negative effects that you may or may not be able to dig yourself out of. And we've seen it before. People make quick decisions that end up changing their life forever. Forever. And then they're either in jail, they're dead, they have kids that they may not want with a person that they may not really like, or shit like that.
They spend the rest of their lives trying to get that one person back.
There you go. Quick decisions based off of pain, anger, lust that cause them to have a lifetime full of turmoil.
It's short-term thinking rather than long-term thinking.
And all of that could have been avoided if you took some time and added some patience to your mental diet.
And it's interesting that that coincides with you're not busy, you're just lazy. It's interesting because the inability to be patient is just laziness. If you want to make the argument that you are too busy, truly, you're too busy to be patient, I would argue, well, then you're just too lazy to reduce or plan your busyness around your schedule in order to be patient. We've recently encountered the issue of patience, and we are extremely busy, yet we've carved out the time to revamp and rework our schedule in a way that allows us to be more patient, or to think on why we are so impatient and to evaluate how to be more patient. That's why we're podcasting on it, because this is something that we've recently encountered, and we are encountering it right now. Every single thing in our lives right now is just waiting. We're still moving 1,000 miles a minute,
Right.
but we're waiting. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. You know how the jets refuel in the air?
In there, yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing right now. We're waiting for the fuselage, the plane with the fuselage to come so that we can...
Right.
We're still flying.
Right.
We're just... And once we refuel, boom, we take off.
There you go.
That's where we're at right now.
Exactly. And it's crazy because as a fighter jet, you're so used to flying, like you said, 1,000 miles a minute. But it takes a different type of patience. It takes a different type of skill to throttle back, take the time to get the fuel, energy, knowledge, wisdom that you need, and then to take off flying again, better and faster than ever.
And actually a good example in a sort of convoluted way is an old school Ferrari that has clutch issues. The reason Ferraris have clutch issues, besides the engineering, is that You're not really meant to be playing with the gears. It's meant to be running. That was the point. So you would stall very easily in between 1 and 3. But if you're going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have no issues. But when you're just cruising in 1, 2, and 3, you're going to stall because that clutch is so hard.
Right.
But in a sense, you had to be a different kind of driver to handle a faulty clutch mechanism at a lower speed.
It takes that touch. You know?
Anybody can race that car, but not everybody can cruise that car.
There you go.
It's a very interesting analogy we had there. The AM Club Podcast.
Signing out.
Mic check. The AM Club Podcast.